So, you've heard me talking long enough. Here is, for example, a hen. Right, a recessive, I won't say recessive red, but I don't know my colors in Spanish. We call it, in English, we call this a baya perla, right? So you can see, kind of messed up her feathers here, trying to get her out. I don't really handle my birds too much. All right, this is a bird from this year. So when you see, one of the things that you see about her is she has a long beak. The Cuban birds lately have been inbred or mixed with morrillero, so they can have a lot of flying, right? The morrillero is a very active bird, a bird that doesn't sit still in the loft by nature. If you look at them when they're flying, they look like fighter pilots, right? Like jet planes. So that's a bird that for competitions where you judge the bird's working ability to fly and repeat when he brings a bird to the loft, that people mix. I'm not saying this is mixed with morrillero. What I'm saying is the beak. This bird actually here, if I were to release her, I don't want to release her because I got other birds loose and then I got to lock her up. But if you see her beak, it's kind of big for my liking. This is from birds that I no longer have in my loft. I actually had somebody that came from Cuba and is living in a part where there's a lot of fanciers. So I gave them the parents. And the dad was un cenizo. The mother was checkered with white flights female, and she had like a little white bow here. We call those corbatos, right? They have a white stripe here. So, but this bird came out with a huge beak. You know, that's why you don't know what you're getting. You might see something physically and be like, oh, this is okay. But look at this female. And when she walks, when I'm going to see if I could, I don't want to release her because then it's going to be a pain to lock her up. But she walks kind of up, and that's what I meant about buchiato. So I remember the loft that I did get her from. The mother didn't look like it, but if you saw the video that I have here with a pimpi on my channel, you're gonna see that he had a couple of birds that were very high in their profile with the crop, which probably means that they had some sort of like horseman or Valenciano, not Valenciano, I'm sorry, Gaditano mix in them. So this is, like I said, a female, and I actually have the brother loose. So I'm gonna take a quick clip of him so you could see him. They're very large birds, but when you saw the parents, you would never think. And they actually don't even look that much alike. Wait till you see the brother, you're gonna see what I mean. Not because of the color, just physically how they look. So, you know, pigeons are a bag of tricks. You don't know what you're gonna get. Okay. So you can see what I meant about the crop. They're kind of like large birds. Okay, color-wise, yeah, it's a common color. This is what we call cenizo, right? I'm not sure what the description would be. Maybe you guys can tell me it below in the comments section, right? He's a cenizo, and that's what we call empiedrado or checkered with a white flight. That female comes from a loft from they gave me the egg. Somebody in my neighborhood that he also likes breeding certain breeds and crosses, and I forget what the hell she has inside right now. So I was just adapting her, and I used him. He was down there with his sister at the bottom of the loft, so I had to put them together to adapt him up here. I'm about to leave him alone. And then put her down and start thieving him alone. So they've already laid eggs, and I don't want to ruin her yet. And now we're heading into hawk season. There you go. Well, she took off and he froze. So you can see her. Let me see. Right there. I don't know if that was because the hawk was coming by. Oh, see, there's another bird flying. And now he has to go chase his chick. And there's my neighbor hosing off the top of his RV. So I mean, look, I have a neighbor that thieves across the street. Here are my birds. See, he's trying to make her land. He noticed that she wasn't gonna land, so he kept going. You see, he's trying to lead her. I mean, these are obviously two birds that have been together, but in a competition, that's what you measure. Here's the other bird from the neighborhood behind them. See, so mine landed, and then her, she's still undecided. He brings her here. And then bam, she finally lands over there. What does he do? Jumps back over here, tries to work her back. Hey, hey. You know, she's still looking for the bird. Look at the bird flying over there above the tree. There he goes. I want to say maybe that's the neighbor across the street, but I don't know. Either way, she saw him and she took off, went after the bird, and then he's like, hey, wait a second, what's going on? Is that a hawk? What's going on? And then he brought her back. Now, what you want is, once I leave him alone, that he sees anything fly by, and he goes ahead and chases it, right? So I'm gonna leave him alone soon, and we'll see how that goes. Hopefully he'll make it till next year. So there, I wanted to give you some examples of two birds that I consider large, and obviously I don't know their lineage, but you can see the influence of other breeds in them, right? The big crop, they're not as slim and sporty looking. Now I'm gonna show you something else which for sure is Cuban. As a matter of fact, two of the females that I have right here they're from the Loft of a famous boxer. I'm not gonna give his name out here because I've actually been keeping the birds for a friend of mine that got removed from the game, and I've called them plenty of times to come pick up the birds, but in the meantime I have gotten some eggs from the females, and I'm always calling them, hey, come pick up the birds, man, I already got a pair of eggs, whatever. But due to the boxer living out in Vegas and things like that, the birds are still here, you know what I mean? So I'm not gonna fly them, obviously, but I'm scared that, you know, something one day happens to the birds, and you know, I've been taking care of them already for like over a month or two. So this right here, what do you think this is? That's from the appearance. This is one of the hens I was telling you about. Obviously, I'm not trying to get any chicks from her or anything. She's in the middle of a bad molt. I have two babies from her in the roof, and that's it. You know, I don't like abusing the birds, especially when they're not mine. But if I get this female and let me see, I hold her, look at the length of her feathers. I mean, she's been kept inside the loft here in this cage. So, but look, compared to the other female, look at her beak, right? It's not as pointy. She has more of an almond-shaped head, okay? You know, you could see just the way she struts about, you know, and if you look at just her physical appearance, she's more streamlined, visually built for flying. Obviously right now she's in the middle of a tremendous molt, but that's probably one of the most Cuban birds I have here, not because she belongs to a Cuban boxer. All right. So look at these birds here. Who would you say is the male? And obviously, this one looks like a female. This is another Cuban female, right? Look at her head. Look how tiny she is. I'm not a big dude. I'm 5'4", okay? But then look at this male. And that's what I meant about the standards, right? These are one of the smallest males I've seen. He's a little Cuban bird, but look at him. He's almost as big as a female, and most people would have a hard time thinking that he's a male because of his look, right? Now he's just ruffled up, so he looks a little bit bigger. Come here, buddy. All right. Again, look at the appearance. I would dare to say that he has Moriero influence because I've had some of his kids and they're very hot. I actually lost them because they were females. But look at that bird there, okay? Also Cuban, all right? Oh, God. Now look at this guy. Compared to the other birds, he's much larger. Right? You can see his crop. Alright, let me show you something. I would release this dude, but he's an asshole. For reference, I'll release him in here in the loft. But he's just one of these birds that you put your hand in the cage and he wants to fight you and peck you and... Alright? Alright, so you can see he belongs to a Thief Powder club here in Miami, okay? And you know, you never know where you get a bird from. This bird was a capture, okay? You can see here, this one, he's much larger than this male, right? Also a Cuban Thief Pouter. Look at his beak though, compared to that first set of birds I showed you that I had the red hen in my hand and her brother in the roof. Look at his body. Look at his wings. Again, flying is a major component of these birds, aside from you know, their seductive capabilities to attract a female to the loft. Flying is very important. If the bird cannot venture out to find prey, what are we doing? All right. Mind you, these birds have been kept in the loft, so I'm not gonna let me go get them. But you can see, look at his tail feathers. You know, look at his wings. Let me get him before he hurts himself. And now this is outside the loft. Okay, these are some hens that I have. All right. So you want to see Cubans? Here you go. All right. These are all females. I might be willing to part with any of these. Okay, this was a capture. Okay, again, you could see here, this one doesn't appear to have the influence of any large birds. Very aerodynamic. If I don't sell her, I don't mind, because I'll just put her here for somebody to catch her. I'll adapt her in one of the boxes in the roof and put her out there for thieving. But I'm willing to let go of some of these. I have this female. I actually have some. I have two males out of her with that bird I just showed with the white flights inside the loft, and they're doing good. So either I'm gonna fly her here or breed her again to that grizzle male that you saw next. By the way, that egg that's inside of there is just a Homer egg that where the grizzle's nest is. I just don't want to have her laying, you know, for no reason at all. So I just put the Homer's egg there and swapped out the eggs. And then finally, this little female here. This one's actually her daughter. There was a video. There was two of them. If you guys remember, there was a video that I was feeding some babies. Well, her sister ended up getting lost one day. I don't know if it was a male or a female. And then this was the one that survived. They were the ones that had really bad chicken pox. Not chicken pox, bird pox. So this is the female. Look how beautiful she turned out. So this is her daughter. Her daughter with the other bird with the white flights. So here you go. And then this bird is a male. Very freaking shy bird that I have. Okay, again, this is also a Cuban bird. I don't have any spots in the top of the loft right now, so I'm not flying him. But let's see what happens. He's probably gonna be kind of probably not. He has good bloodline, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to fly him. We'll see. I'll let him go a couple times, see what he does. All right, guys. So I'm probably gonna do a two-part video. I spent the first half of the time talking about the experiences of me growing up and what I know about Thief Pouters, and then trying to get into the reference of the different breeds and things like that. But I just wanted to do this for the subscribers and the people that follow me that speak English and are not from Miami, so I can kind of get a heads up. I've seen videos, oh, I got a Cuban. And when you look at these Cubans, there's something that tells me, hey, that thing has some beautiful pouters, which I have. And I'll make a video about those birds that I have that are crossed and things like that. But you kind of saw what I have, and you could see some that have the influence, and then you see others that don't. Usually the Cubans, a lot of the ones that come now are mixed with morrillero. So you're gonna see very jet-like long birds, little apple crop, small, right? Not the big, I mean, there used to be big Thief Pouter birds, but usually those, again, here in Miami, because of the competitions and everything like that, everybody wants that fast bird. You don't have a lot of time for the bird to be dancing around and seducing the female when you have a, you know, he throws her on the roof, and next thing you know, there's a hawk zooming by, scaring her off. So you need birds that are like what I showed in the video when my birds took off. He lands on the roof, he jumps back, hey, come over here, come towards my box. Let's go, get in. You know what I mean? A bird that's very active and consistency. because sometimes you're not afforded the time. And you know, there's also a bunch of people that fly birds like you saw. There's only one that popped up now. But imagine now that bird is freaking out, lands on the roof, and next thing you know, another bird comes by and makes her come off and fly. Your bird already lost his opportunity. So these are all things that maybe, you know, if you don't live in an area that has thief pouters, you don't experience. Maybe you experience, you know, the hawk attack, or a weird bird passes by and your bird takes off. But it's different when you're surrounded by people that do the same thing you do. That being said, again, I'm gonna do a 2-part piece with the animals, and I'll try to see if I could drop another video probably sometime next week with some of my what I call pretty birds. Okay, I also like birds for their beauty, and I have a couple of thief pouters that I cross every once or twice a year just to keep, you know, that certain look. I'm sure you guys have seen me post them before. Thank you guys. Please share and subscribe if you know anybody that has birds. Like I said, I have a couple of females I'm gonna have available probably beginning of next year or around Christmas time. If anybody wants those out of those 3 that I showed there, pouters, and maybe I could come up with something with a male, because again, I'm having babies, so can't keep all of them. Okay, all right guys.